Our guest is a digital marketing consultant. Simple, simple as we. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time on the Power Impact Series show, is no other person than the one and only Irene Siaw. Let's give a round of applause and welcome her onto our show.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Yay.
Thank you so much for the welcome, Benjamin. I mean, I love your energy, as I was saying backstage, and so it's such a pleasure to join you on the Power Impact Series show. And I'm hoping that by the end of this session, just as you mentioned, I'm a digital marketing consultant, so I hope that everybody who tunes into this session at one point or the other will get lots of value that will help to build their brand. Helping their digital marketing activities, and then help them to let many more people know about the good things that they are doing in their different spaces. So I'm super excited to be here today.
Right. Thank you so much. And then that is our guest for today. There for you. This is natural intro. Now, hey, you're going to get more of our guest today. First, what have you been doing? How's the year been for you? From the beginning of the year to now, how has it been? Irene.
Yeah, so it's been a good time. I mean, I guess I've been supporting different individuals, supporting different organizations to build their brands. So on my end, yeah, it's been a pretty good time. I guess that we are constantly learning. So for me, it's been a year of great learning. I guess that even today's topic in alignment to the fact that we are still learning, we are still evolving. Look at how much AI is developing. People are really speaking about it. People are like, okay, this and this is happening. This tool is coming up, and so it means that there are lots more changes happening. And so I'm glad that we're here today, and yeah, glad that we're going to speak about these changes. I hope that the year has been so good for you too, Benjamin, so far.
Since you're on my show, it's been good. Since you're on my show, it's been good.
That's a
Yes,
nice
yes,
thing to
yes.
say.
Right. So, Irene, I mean,
Mhm.
digital marketing consultant. How did the journey start? How did it all start? Were you in this before, or you just went into it along the way, or you into this wholeheartedly? Are you a marketer? Are you into marketing? Where from all this digital marketing consultant? Where did it all start from, and then where you are now? You want to just know a little more about you and then how it all started.
Thank you so much for the question, Benjamin. I love it a lot because, I guess that it gives me the opportunity to tell a story that, you can start in a particular journey, but you can always evolve into what you want to become or into the things that you love. So, throwing back, I think around 6, 7 years ago, I started building a business. By then, I was working in the development space full time,
Wow.
working in the reproductive health space as a youth reproductive health, officer or coordinator with those in Accra. And so basically, I was working in the public health space. And at a point, I decided to build a network marketing business with a health and wellness company. That was 6 or 7 years back. Yeah.
Wow.
So while building that business, my side business, right, I started to gain a lot of skills. And then eventually people started reaching out to me that, okay, so Irene, could you come and train us on how you did this with your brand? Some tips, some tools that you're using to build your brand. Like, could you also support us? So then I started to realize that the tools or the skill sets that I've used and applied myself are actually going to be relevant to people. And I think that over the past year, past 2 years, I've been delving more into that to see how I could support other people. I think that backstage, while you and I were talking, I was like, once we have the skills, we should definitely use them to create some positive change, right? And so it's my pleasure to say that over the past year, past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to join different organizations, to work with different individuals, and then help them with the skill sets that I've had along the journey. So when you asked me at the beginning, that's why I was saying that I'm glad for this question because it gets us to see that it's possible to evolve, it's possible to change. I still work in the reproductive health field, but then I still do my digital marketing consulting, right? So, there are so many capabilities out there. As I say, we shouldn't think like the box, right? So, yeah, I guess that this is where I am now in the journey.
Right. So yeah, it started from somewhere and then let's dive into it, and that is where it is. So you're still in the other area. You're still offering your
Yes.
services in the what specifically are you doing in those areas that
Okay, so yes, so I'm also working in the productive health area as well. For that, some consulting. So with organizations who require assistance in implementing programs that deal with youth reproductive health. So I support in those because I'm a young person myself. So a lot of my initiatives are focused on, youth related reproductive health activities. Yeah.
Okay. Right, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. Love it. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, hey, if you're joining us, you are the Power University Show, where today we are having the wonderful Irene Siaw, who is a digital marketing consultant. And not only that, she has another one. This is side business. I like it when you said it's a side, side business. This is a side business. Now, listen, if the side business is trying to take over the
You
real
know,
business.
a lot of people do it for the digital marketing.
Yes,
Very
because of
interesting. That's what
already
I'm saying.
so.
I started as my side business.
And now it is it running parallel to the real business? Has it overtaken the real business? Or how is it? How are you juggling the two? How you juggling?
That's a really good question. So I'd say that they are sort of running parallel because there are different points where I have to use the skill sets in either area in order to, should I say, create the most impact in that area. So when I have an opportunity or when there's a particular project I'm working on that particular time, then yeah, I'm fully dedicating my productive health skill sets. If there's a digital marketing project where I need to, really bring in my skills to help clients, organizations, then I need to bring in those skills there. And then I think that as time goes on, what I've been finding, for instance, today I was discussing a possible project with a colleague. And this project is in terms of productive health, we want to empower young women. But aside from that, we want them to have digital marketing skills or skills for the future, if I should say it that way.
Hmm.
So then interestingly, that would be a blend of both of the areas that I'm working in. So I was really like excited when you brought that discussion up to me. And so we are basically like discussing how we can, let this flow together. So I guess that, as time goes and you develop your skill sets, you'll definitely find the right ways or the right space in which they fit. Yeah.
Right. Well, let me just give some shout out to those that have joined us around. Javier Ambassador Prince, could you Hilton online? He says, I'm watching live. Thank you so much, Ambassador. How is your place? How is your place doing? And I know you are getting some sign business. So we are good to go. Thank you so much. If you just joined, let me know who is online with me. Let me know where you're joining us from. And let us keep the energy and the vibe flowing because we're here to do a lot of digital marketing today. Okay. So let's move into our topic for today. And then I will see how it goes. Right. Elevating your brand building game. Let's break it. We are going to start from elevating your brand building. That is one part. Then we bring in the game.
Yeah,
Or what is it?
right.
Elevating your brand building game. Let's
Okay.
move it up from that side. Elevating your brand building game. How do you build the brand? Or how is a brand building game like? Um so when you talk about brand, what are you referring to? Is it like an individual or you're referring to an organization or an institution? What are you referring to when you talk about the brand or the brand building game? What really are we looking at here so we can now break it or dissect it well?
Sure. So, in terms of today's session, I think that we are mostly looking at building our personal brands or building individual brands, right? Because I guess that when we build up our brands to our extent, to an extent, it makes it easier for us, to have different opportunities to utilize our skill sets. So, in terms of this, different organizations can approach us and then say, okay, so you have this skill sets. I've noticed you speaking about it on social media. I've seen you speaking about it on this platform. So could you come and then support me, to also build this skill set myself? So in terms of this, and then because of our audience today, I think that we're mostly going to focus on building a personal brand, right? And then you mentioned that elevating our brand building game, right? And
Yeah.
so basically, I think the game, because I have a mentor who I listen to a lot. It's called Alex Homozy, really great businessman, and he said something like all business is a game, right? Basically doesn't say that,
Right.
we should play around with life or anything like that. But then
Right.
he's trying to say that, there isn't one real answer. There isn't one real cause. if like you try a lot of things and then see what works best, you'll be able to fit all different things in, and then somehow, some way make it turn out right at the end of the day, right? So he said that you might take a path and be like, oh, I made a mistake while building my brand. But then if you find another way, you could definitely turn it around to something good. So that's something like it's a game, right? I mean, life is a game at the end of the day, right? And so basically we are going to be learning today how we can elevate our game, or how AI can make it easier for us to build our brands. That's basically what we're going to be discussing today.
That's basically what we're going to discuss today. Life is a game. Ladies and
Exactly.
gentlemen, we're here with Irene and Siaw, and we are hitting it strong from the beginning. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Greetings, guys. Watching you live from Mampo Bidan Suman. Thank you so much. Let it come, let it come, let it come. Let all those that are online, let us feel it. And then our mother said, wow, great. Great, 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 great that you are online with us. And I hope you are hearing me clearly where you are, because we are blasting all the cylinders this day on the platform and on this episode. And you know what? Keep jotting down your hashtags, because at the end of the day, we're going to have hashtags and we're going to compare them and see how they match. Elevating your brand building. So, means anyone running or having any side hustle needs to up their game with a brand. Now, how are they going to do this branding? Are they going to create logos? Are they going to create company names? Are they going to create flyers? How are they, or how should one building a side hustle business build that brand so that it can stand out?
Okay, that's a fantastic question, Benjamin. So I think that for anybody who's building a side hustle, anybody who wants to build up the brand for the main work that they're involved in, I think that one key point that they need to begin as is setting goals, right? Or like having that clear purpose that this is what I want to achieve with my brand. Earlier on I mentioned that as you go along, then you make mistakes. There are definitely ways to turn around, right? But then, first of all, in the beginning, it is good to set goals, right? I mean, even the Bible says this part, that we should write the vision and then make it plain, that he who runs may read it, right? I keep on quoting that thing, so I always remember that quotation. So basically, when we have our goal in mind, it makes it easier for us to build our brand, because it's dependent on our goals that we even know which audience we're going to speak to at the end of the day. And so when we know the audience, then we can start to look at, okay, what kind of content is relevant for that audience? What kind of platforms are relevant for those audiences, or what kind of platforms will we find those audiences on? So I think that first of all, goal setting is key, right? And we can do it in should I say a very basic way of a pen and paper, if I should put it that way. Or if we want, we can take our notes up, right? And then say, okay, so I want to, build my brand in this area. What are my goals for building my brand? What do I want to achieve at the end of the day? Do I want to be known as a thought leader? Do I want to, be able to, be a speaker at particular conferences because of my skill sets? Do I want to have the opportunity to consult for organizations because of my skill sets, right? So then when we have those goals in mind, then we can start to look at, okay, so which kind of audiences? Do I need to be speaking to NGOs? Do I need to be speaking to banking institutions? Do I need to be speaking to lawyers on social media, right? So I guess I
Right.
basically begins with, really making that plan clear, right? And I guess a little thing I'll add on to this is that sometimes you say, okay, so the plan is not clear. I'm not going to go ahead and then do what I want to do. But it's always important to just have an initial plan. And then as you go on, you keep rolling it out, right? And so having goals is one of the first things for me. Yeah.
Right, having goals is one of the first things for her. She's talking about progressive elaboration. As you go on, you can elaborate on the goals, but you need to have a goal. You have a target
Mhm.
from the onset, and then you can move along and then re-elaborate it. All right. So, as an individual, someone who is already working, we're taking somebody like you, who are you're already in the productive sector, and then you got the idea. How did this idea start? How did it start? Was it that something you used to do, or is it that along the way you developed a love for this kind of business, and then you said, okay, let me try my hands on it. And as I'm trying my hands on this is my target group, or this is my target people. How am I positioning myself to meet this kind of people? How did it for you on the way? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people like that. They're already in gainfully employment, and then they get these ideas, they get this thought that they feel like I can develop this to be a side business. But how do I do it? Is it that is it going to take all my time, or I'm not going to have that patience to grow it? How do you do it? How do you do it? Yes, yeah, so that we can really build this brand and position it out there. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Fantastic question, Benjamin. So you said that, okay, so let me take it from how we started, right? Or how I started along this journey. I think that in the beginning I mentioned that, so I started my side business, as you're saying, which is like almost parallel basically now, right? So I guess that one thing that I realized earlier on while I was building my business is that if people are going to patronize whatever products or services that we have, they want to see some presence online, right? They want to know a bit more about us. So I think that that's where the journey started. I mean, that's one of the key advantages of building a brand. You get to gain trust, from your audience, right? There's this particular thing that's always said in digital marketing that people will get products or services from people who they know, people who they like, people who they trust, right? So I guess that for me, when I started 6 years ago and then I was telling people about my products, I wanted them to see me as somebody who is trustworthy, right? And
Okay.
people eventually begin to trust people who they see showing up consistently, right? Today,
Yeah.
while we're back door, I greeted you, hi Benjamin. We're chatting as if we've known each other for like years and years and years. And interestingly, we haven't known each other for that long. But then I see
Yeah.
Benjamin online, I see his activities, I see him speaking at events, right? I see him in his suits, right? And his MC like roles, right? I see him like doing all these amazing things. And somehow it feels like I know Benjamin, even though I've not physically met him, right? And so,
Yeah.
if somebody asks, okay, so I'm hosting this global conference, I need an MC. Who am I going to call? Benjamin, right? And am I going to trust that he's going to deliver? I will trust he's going to deliver because I've seen him doing something like that in the past, right? So I'd say that it's important for anybody, to realize that trust is one of the main advantages of building a brand, right? So when you take it from that perspective, you'll be much more inclined to see that, okay, so what can I do to start to fit these activities in my schedule, right? What are the kind of things that I can do maybe like on a daily basis or a weekly basis, right? Perhaps you could fit in time to, to make a post, right? To use like a picture that you have existing, right? And then put a caption there, So when I think about this, I think that it will somehow fall down back to our goals, right? Because if you have that goal in mind that at the end of the day, you want to achieve A, B, C, D, right? It will kind of give you that push to go ahead and then start to make that name for yourself online because
Yeah.
you realize that if you don't make the steps to create that name for yourself online, all the things that you've written down for your goals are probably going to delay or they might not happen right now, right? So I guess that in writing our goals, it makes it easier for us to realize that yeah, we need to do these activities, right? There's this particular mentor of mine, I was listening to one of his sessions, and he said that at a point in building his business, he told himself that, okay, I'm going to write 25 reasons why I need to make this business work out. And so on sessions that I facilitate, I also tell individuals that, okay, so if you feel that, okay, so you have a reason to grow your brand, right? But then sometimes you keep falling back, or sometimes it's difficult to keep consistent because, life can get in the way, right? So basically, one thing that you could do is like write different reasons why you need to make this work, right? Like what do you see at the end game, right? What do you think is going to happen as a result of you building a brand? So if you write down like 20, 30, 40, 50 different ways, you can even stick them around your house if you'd like, eventually, whenever like you feel like I'm tired, I don't want to post, I don't want to go out online, right? You'll be encouraged by that particular thing that you see, and then be like, okay, so I need to go ahead and make that post, right? And then there's one thing that I touched on earlier that all of us are helping one person or the other with our skill sets. All of us, are in service to one person or the other.
Right.
So the thing is that if we remind ourselves that as we're going out, as skill sets are needed by somebody, we are in service of somebody, it's also another thing that will drive us to go ahead and then find, the time schedule, to actually go ahead and then do those brand building activities, right? And then the good thing is that these days we have AI, right? Like, praise God, should I say that we are, like there's so many controversies around AI. So maybe I shouldn't say praise God, but then basically, as you know, right, Benjamin? I mean, there's so much going on. But then the good thing is that it's supporting us in one way or the other, right? So it
Right.
can make my jobs easier, right? Today I was chatting with a friend, right? He works with the organization, I think about 2 months ago, to develop a digital marketing plan for the organization. And he's posting, so he's brought these new products out. He wants to post. I was like, okay, so Irene, what kind of caption could I give to this particular thing, right? So I gave him some ideas. Now, maybe you are here and then you are also building your brand, and you are really busy. Sometimes when there's a lot on your mind, you can't really think straight, right? So in those times, AI can support you, right? You can tell your AI to whichever one that you're using that, okay, so I'm posting a caption about ABCD. I'm posting a caption about these services, about this product. I'm posting this video. I'm sorry, I'm making a post. Sorry, not I'm posting. I'm making a post about ABC, right? What kind of caption could I use, right? Or maybe I'm building my brand area ABCD. What kind of taglines could I use that will make my name stick in the heads, of my clients or my potential clients? Because the thing is that you want yourself to be top of mind, right? That's the whole essence of building our brands. When we build our brands, we differentiate ourselves. When people are looking for that MC, that when people are looking for that digital marketing consultant, when people are looking for that seller of share butter, that seller of ladies' weight, right? We
Yeah.
want our names to come out first, right? We want to differentiate ourselves, so maybe AI could be a handy tool then. You could ask AI, okay, so what taglines can I use on my social media so that whenever people think about me, whenever people see those taglines, they're like, that's Irene. That's Irene who sells the lady's hair. She's the one who I need to get my wig from, right? So definitely AI, has come into elevate our game, if I should put it that way. So yeah, I think that basically, Benjamin, that's where we need to start, right? To realize that this is important for us to do if we are really going to make our side hustle work, right? Because if we are known for that thing, then that's when people will be able to come to us for that service, right? So I guess that's where we could start from, realizing that we need to build the trust, realizing that we need to differentiate ourselves, realizing that we need to show up consistently, because it's in show up consistently that people will start to trust us and then start to give us those opportunities to utilize our skill sets to create, some greater growth. Yeah. So I think that I'll pause there for now.
Yay. Ah, she's going to pause here for now. Yes, she's pausing so that we can acknowledge those that are joining us online. So, yeah, I have in here Amma Beatrice Alovo. Oh, such a great MC, a francophone English, whichever language. Bring it on, and this lady will just kill the game for you. Thank you, Amma. Amma joining us all the way from Lome, Togo. How are you doing? And he said, yes, when you need our MC, call Benjamin. Okay, yeah. That's okay. He's a great MC. All right, all right. Amma is a great MC herself. She's really and then for a very long time, he has joined us again, and that is him. Bob Baden, he says, class prefect is in the hall. Class prefect, where have you been? Lectures.
That's perfect.
He's our class prefect here. He does all the work here for us. So, Bob, thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you. All right. So we've now gotten the basis where Irene post. So now that you've gained the trust, you've built the trust, you've been consistent, you've shown up, and then your brand is kind of a household name, or everyone can easily point to this brand because they've gained that trust from you. Now after that, with the introduction of AI, artificial intelligence, isn't it causing people to be less creative? Isn't it causing people not to think through? Isn't it making people lazy? Isn't it? I mean, for those that are really not good with that, I mean, artificial intelligence is machine language stuff that does all or most of the thinking for you. So, what you intend to do, you can easily point out to these applications, and then they can easily give you suggestions or give you multiple choices to choose from. So sometimes people go this way that it's actually making us weak. It's actually making us not being so creative. It's not really letting us put together the grammar and make it relatively our own. Is AI really doing that to us, or what is AI actually bringing up?
Okay, that's a fantastic question, Benjamin. And I like it a lot. I think I was smiling while you're saying because I've also gotten that question a lot, right? And it's something that has also come to my mind, as a consultant, right? Because I do use AI a lot on a daily basis, right? I think even on my LinkedIn, I use AI particularly every day to share, prompts that people could use in their different areas of work, right? And I think that I had interestingly, so I had a LinkedIn contact send me a message, I think about a month or two ago, and it was like, okay, so Irene, so like the way you're using this AI, like, aren't you a bit concerned and you want to take away your creativity, like your brain power, like, would you think for yourself like that? I was like, yeah, I've also thought about that, but then for me, what I think is that AI, adds on to our creativity, right? Because for me, what I've seen is that if you haven't already given AI some kind of, should I say, guidelines to work with, it's also not going to bring you results that are good at the end of the day, or results
Right.
to you at the end of the day. So it means that first of all, it needs to come from you. It needs to come from your your skill sets. It needs to come from what is in your brain already, if I should put it that basic way, for you to input, and then AI will bring you something out. So for me, we are still using our creativity, but then AI is just adding to that. I mean, for instance, I think yesterday also I wrote a caption about having a citation done by AI, right? Of course, at the end of the day, you would know that you need a citation. You probably would have some idea of something that you might want to put on that citation to make it lively for that person. But then sometimes, to save yourself time, or to to add some elements that you might not have thought of, using AI would definitely be a great thing, right? And then at the end of the day, all of us want to leverage our time as much as possible. We want to be able to get as much done within the day, right, as much as possible, right? Because I mean, I guess we're at the stages of our lives where we're trying to make sure that each and every one of the projects that we are working on, is running smoothly. So we could decide that AI is not a killer of our creativity in that area, but then we could decide that AI is rather something that will help us, to use our time much more effectively, right? So
Right.
maybe you're consulting for a particular organization, and then you could go and ask AI A, B, C, D, and then it makes your task simpler for you. Of course, after you get the answers, you're still going to modify them, right? You're not going to put it
Right.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this course that I did, basically said that okay, so if you put the same answer as AI automatically gives you, there might be somebody else in another country, and then they will also copy the same answer and then put it into, right. You're going to get the same answers as somebody, so it's important to modify, right? So modify. So you're a consultant. You've used AI to save your time on task. You modify that particular document. You've presented it to your clients, right? I mean, you've also saved your client time in some way, right? Because you'd have had to take maybe like 30 days to consult on that particular activity. But then now you've cut your consulting down time to 15 days, right? So it could mean that it's a win-win for you, right? Because if you cut down your consulting time, clients' costs is clients' costs is cut down. You also have spent less time on the project. You can go on to another project with another organization, get to learn new skills in the project, get to have new experiences on that project, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, it is a win-win, right? So I guess there are lots of controversies around what will happen. There are lots of controversies around the job area. I was listening to this YouTube video from this gentleman, Impact Theory. It's called some Bill You or so. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right, but then basically he was saying that at his organization now, he expects that each and every one of his teammates are learning how to leverage AI. And he said that, okay, so for him, if by 2024, I think maybe like towards the end of the year or something, his employee is not able to come to him and then tell him that they are using AI in their particular job in area A, B, C, D, then to him, it seems that the employee is not ready to, grow as much as possible, right? So of course, I'm not adding to the it's going to take our job debate or anything like that, right? I think I'm basically trying to say that, well, it's a tool, and I guess while it's here and while it's progressing, we might as well make as much use of it as possible. Because as different experts are saying, we probably aren't going back. We are moving forward, right? So I guess that it's up to us to just leverage AI as much as it adds to our creativity. So it isn't that we'll just like be from scratch and then AI will create something. No, we need to bring our own inputs. We need to make our inputs as creative as possible. If you really notice, when you put things into AI and then you're not really detailed, it's going to give you like really plain answers, really basic answers. By the way, you're not right. It's going to give you really basic answers. But you notice that when you add that creative element that also comes from your mind, when you add your unique ideas, your AI to whichever one you're using at that moment will be able to add onto that and then bring something that was creative and then something that came from you because possibly somebody didn't have that same kind of thoughts. Somebody didn't give that kind of prompts in the beginning, right? So for me, I'd say that adds to our creativity, it saves us time, right? And then yeah, in terms of building our brands, it's definitely going to add to our creativity, going to make it easier for us to build our brands. We can be as consistent as possible and then also make time for the other like really important, other equally important, did I say that, we projects in our life too. Yeah. So Benjamin, that's what I'd say about AI and brand building. Yeah.
Right, thank you so much. Colin out from the Savannah region of Ghana, and he actually supports the point that you made. So he's listening on AI. I think folks don't get it. It's what you put in that you get results. Good points. Moreover, you can edit whatever it feeds back or it gets back to you. So exactly the point that you made because it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you're not creative, how are you going to create whatever you want it to modify or bring more
Exactly.
flesh to it
Thank you,
for you? So
Colin. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, so yes, you get it right there. Okay, right. Thank you, Kola, and thank you, Bob. Bob says, good delivery. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, the class prefect is now back to his tips. So thank you. All right, so now that you've given us some background about AI, about artificial intelligence, now what are some of the things or some of the tools or which ones are there some specific tools or specific AI tools for certain roles or certain jobs that needs to be done? Or are there, or is it a general thing that, hey, we pick it up in there and then we slot whatever we want to have and then it produces some for us? What are some of the tools available to us based on the industry that you are in that can use to make your work more efficient and position that brand that you are in?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Fantastic. So as I was saying, like AI is developing quickly, right? Like faster than ever. Each day or the other, there's somebody who's come out with another AI tool. But then just as Benjamin said or asked, dependent on my industry. So I'm currently using like a lot of, should I say, okay, let me not use that way, but I'm basically using ChatGPT a whole lot. I use Google's Bard and then I use Microsoft a whole lot. So because I'm a consultant, I think my work is more to do, with like, should I say, presentations, administration kind of things, like writing proposals, developing strategies, like developing different kinds of, documents. So for me, I basically use a lot of ChatGPT. I think that because it's the one that I found. I don't know, maybe it's because it came first and I started like applying it a lot more. But then it's a lot. It's one that I found to give me a lot of templates, right? That's make
Right.
it easier for me to do my work, right? For instance, I need a template or I need an idea of a template to do A, B, C, D. ChatGPT will probably give me some really cool ideas that I could use, right? For instance, I was preparing for a meeting with a client, I think about 4 or 5 ago, and I was like, okay, so ChatGPT, I'm meeting with the clients. I was going to do a digital marketing strategy for his organization. So I'm meeting with the clients. I need to have some clear objectives for the meeting so that I can use them for my PowerPoints, my initial PowerPoints, right? And I told ChatGPT and I got some really good ideas to include in my PowerPoints, right? And then that's I think building upon what I said earlier, right? So it was my idea, but then ChatGPT gave me some really good things that I might have forgotten to include in the initial presentation with the clients, right? So for me, that's the main tool that I'm using. There's also I really need to try this too. Our scriptbreeze.ai by one of our very own Edwin Della. Makisa sent me the
Okay.
link recently. I need to try it out, but I know that it's something maybe Benjamin can. I think we can pin it afterwards, right? So that everyone who
Right.
joins in can go ahead and then try it out because I
Oh,
mean it's
right.
from one of our very own. So we definitely need to make time to see how it can support us in our different activities. But for me, in terms of digital marketing activities, in terms of developing captions, in terms of developing scripts for videos, in terms of developing carousels, developing what else, infographics, right? With all these ideas, I think ChatGPT is usually my go-to. Yeah.
Right, ChatGPT is the go-to, and it's raining in live on the arena of Ireland. I don't know about you. You can let us know what kind of AI tools you are using for your businesses, for your side hustles, and for your industry or profession. Let us know. Let us know. Let's share so that so you can get to the chat area. Let's know the kind of AI tools you using for your your industry or your work so that we can leverage on it. Because it's all about leveraging on the AI tools to make our work
Mhm.
or our products or our branding better for us. Yes. So yeah, yes, get to the chat here. Let me know which one you are using, which one you want to share with us, and then we will pick it from there. Yes, you are on the Power Impact Series show where today we're having on our guest seat, Irene, who is a digital marketing consultant, and then she has given us some doses of nuggets on elevating your brand and then or building your brand game with AI in the building or in the system. Because yes, it takes away some time, it gives you some leverage, and it also makes your kind of presentation looks crisp, solid. Yes, it doesn't take away your creativity because you are creative. That's the more reason why you're able to create something and then you are able to give it to the tool to also
Mhm.
modify and add the current trends also to it. So it's an open field. It gives you options. You can edit. You can take it just as you perceive it, and then based on where you want to present it, you go ahead and do it. Right. So doesn't it look like AI is stealing your stuff? All that you are putting in is AI not stealing your business ideas?
So that's a really good question. I think that I had a friend on LinkedIn recently. I think I wrote a post about it. So it was like, hey, okay, so the consultancy jobs that we are doing, like small in quotes, like AI is coming to take them away, right? Because it's going to, like let the clients do the jobs for themselves or things like that, right? But I guess that there's this story about how this man went to fix a particular fault, for an organization, and then later on they sent him the bill. Benjamin smiling because he knows where I'm going. And then later on they sent him the bill, and then they were like, so okay, they asked him for like a bill, right? And then he sent the bill. They're
Yeah.
like, this huge amount. How did you charge us this much for doing this, right? So let's say, for instance, he sent them like 100,000 Ghana cedis. And it was like, okay, it's 1,000 Ghana cedis for actually tapping on that thing and then fixing it. And then it's 99,000 Ghana cedis for knowing where to tap, right? So really, in relation to what I'm saying or bringing it back to AI and then our clients, right? I'd say that, yeah, we could say that the clients will do the things. But then what I'm finding, or what I'm learning is that our clients still have really lots of things to deliver on their plates on the daily basis, right? They're trying to bring out different innovations in their organizations. They're working on different activities. They are leading their teams. So some clients haven't even had the time to like see, okay, so how can I operationalize AI in my business, right? How will AI make my task easier, right? And then the truth is that, there are lots of speakers. I mentioned Alex Omoz in the beginning, right? And he's somebody I listen to a lot. He says that basically, if somebody is like focused on particular business tasks, they really want to use their creativity in that area. So our clients may still, be able to use AI to do task ABCD, but then some of them would still prefer that they use their skill sets in the areas where, like they are spearheading the business itself, like for the business innovations itself. Some of them might not have that time, might not be able to fit in their schedule to do the digital marketing thing with AI, to go and sit down and ask AI to develop captions, to go and sit down to ask AI, to maybe like develop a digital marketing strategy. Some clients, so it's not within their area, right? And then I guess that it's something that a lot of mentors of ours say, right, in the personal development world, that at the end of the day, it's important to focus your tasks or focus your activities on the areas where you are most skilled, right? Because that is what is going to bring your revenue in at the end of the day, right? So for me, I'd say that we could look at it from the fact that, yeah, it's going to come and everybody's going to take over it, and then we're not going to get opportunities like to work on or anything, right? Or to use our skill sets. But for me, I'd rather take it from the perspective that, okay, some of my clients may really want to sit down and then use ChatGPT or use Bard or use this, but then they simply don't have the time. So if I'm there helping them with my AI skills, I'm actually supporting them to get their activities done at the end of the day, because then they can focus their time on the other things where, like they are the key ones who can do that task, right? Nobody else can do this. And then I can support them to, work on the digital marketing part. I can train their team, to work on different strategies, right? So for me, I'd say that in whichever field we are in, right, relating it to our audience as well, in whichever field we are in, I guess that it's up to us to see that, okay, so how can we still add AI to what we are doing? How can we leverage it and then make sure that we are still providing value? Because, at the end of the day, if we are making sure that we are still providing value, we are providing valuable service to that organization, and then they are seeing results from everything that we are delivering to them, right? Like they still will want to work with us because we are still going to save them time. And time is one of the most important resources because you essentially can't get it back. I mean, once it's gone, it's gone. In JSS in school, my teacher had written on the top of our blackboard, "A minute lost can never be found," right? And when you think about it, it's actually a true quote. Once the time goes, it's gone, right? So basically, we should see it as okay. So we are still going to save organizations time. So how are we now going to be the ones who know how to use AI to save ourselves, even more time? Because as I was saying earlier, if we can save ourselves time, we can work on to move with different organizations with different tasks, learn even more, find even more new ways to use AI, right? So I guess that if we take it from that perspective, it's a win-win situation for all of us. Yeah, Benjamin. So I think that basically we can make it a win-win once we have that mindset that's this is a tool that we can leverage on. Yeah.
Right, this is the tool that you can leverage on. It says, once time is gone, it is gone forever. And this brings me to a point or a quote or one saying that I saw that I really love. It says, you can never touch the same part of a flowing river.
So true.
So once the time is past, it's past. And I tie that one in with the comment that Jose has sent to us. He said, AI is an additional and powerful tool. You can continue living without using it, but others will do and move faster than you. So it's a choice either to use it or not to use it. And I'm back to Kola. Kola comes in again and said, Using AI is about knowing the right tool to use and how best to combine these tools to achieve the best results. The human factor will never fade away. It's 99,000 for knowing where exactly to tap, indeed. Thanks, Irene, for that insight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think
Thanks, Kula and
Jose
Jose.
has come again. He said, AI is already everywhere. Oh, yes, it's everywhere. On dentistry, for instance, AI is already present on the available simulations for orthopedic procedures. Thanks to AI, you can predict how your smile will look.
Wow.
All right, you see, I think
That's really impressive. That's really, really impressive. I
okay,
mean, it's
okay.
everywhere.
Okay. So I think you see, let's check the smile and see if it's AI.
That's a
Thank you
good
so
one.
much. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. Kola, she had already spoken about personal branding as well. But Kola says, please, madam, talk about personal branding too. People think AI is only used for doing quote unquote work. There are AI tools for swiping the perfect CV to suit some particular job positions, even preparing leadership speeches, etc. Yes, so yes, she had spoken about that already, and then Akezia said, "Wow, so amazing! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." All right, so please get your hashtag for today because we've run it up. So get your hashtag for today. Get it, so that we can compare and see. And if you have any questions, if you have any add-ups for Irene's presentation, let it flow now, and then let's run it over. I'll just go for my next commercial break. When we come back, we'll be running up. Don't go anywhere. You are still on Power Transmission.
Need a spark to kickstart your innovation? Looking for thought and talks to get things moving? Wondering how to navigate a future full of change and uncertainty? With the eye-opening stories of digital disruption, extreme customer centricity, organizational innovation, and global shift, our collective of speakers, MCs, and moderators will shift your perspective. Meet our speakers. For booking and interviews, contact us on 0246 054092 or send us a mail info.accessnet@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all social media channels at AccessNet Global, African Seasoned Speakers Network, influencing the next generation of Africans.
Definitely influencing the next generation of Africans. That's what we do here. We are actually influencing ourselves this day with Irene Siaw giving us all those nuggets. And wow. What points that have been shared so far. I really enjoy the points that have been shared so far. Beautiful point, beautiful point. Okay, so running up for us. What do you want to say, or what do you have to say? Running up for us in the topic that we have in today, which is elevating your brand building game with AI. And then let's see how it goes. I mean, is it? Some people feel like when you're using the AI means you are kind of you're over projecting yourself. I feel
You're
like you're
over
over
projecting. I
projecting.
got you right.
Yeah, like you're over projecting yourself because it's actually giving you some kind of vibes. It's giving you some kind of positioning, and
Yeah.
you stand out. So people feel like
Mhm.
you kind of faking or you actually overrating yourself. Is that how it is, or that is the real you that you bring there by the help of AI?
I mean, for me, I'd say that, well, if it's going to put you out there and then, like make everybody pay attention to you, I'd say that definitely use AI, right? Because, in the beginning of the session, I was saying that people will work with your brand if, like, they have come to know you, they've come to like you, they've come to trust you, they've come to pay attention to you, they've come to see something that's unique, that's different about you. And so, if AI tools are the tools that you can leverage on to make yourself unique, to make yourself stand out, right? That is what is going to bring you the opportunity to create impact at the end of the day. That's what's going to give you the opportunity to create, to use your skill sets at the end of the day. I'm sure that a lot of us here today, thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for the amazing comments so far. I think that everybody who is here today will probably agree with me that at some point in their lives, they've gotten some opportunities, quotes unquote, just because it was them or just because it was you, right? People will come to Benjamin and say, Benjamin, can you MC this event? Why? It's not really about, like some past CV that he brought or something or like that. It's because people have seen him differentiating himself on social media, right? People will come and say, okay, so maybe like Irene, come and then give this talk about finances. Come and give this talk about digital marketing. They might not really ask you to bring your CV that says, okay, you taught people finances in JSS. No, they might not ask that. But because of what they see currently, because they see yourself differentiating yourself, they've seen you for about a year now. You've been speaking about finance on social media, right? That background is there. So if AI tools are going to help, like be that person's all out, I mean, why not? There are different brands that stand out today, because they went ahead and then did the exit, right? People speak a lot about how the Richard Branson brand stands out because he goes ahead and then does these stunts, and then people are like, okay, so Richard did that, so Richard, and then like people are talking about him more and more. So if people are going to talk about you and then that's going to let your name be known and people are going to pay more attention to you and then contact you to find out how your skill sets can support their different areas, right? Or if you're going to be able to create more impact because of the fact that you stand out. I mean, why not, right? At the end of the day, because people go to celebrities for endorsements because of this very same thing, right? Like people know them, they are standing out, right? Like they are known for a particular thing, right? So you and I, can also stand out, can also be known for a particular thing if we leverage, AI as much as possible. If we find out ways by which it can support the efforts that we're making already. Because I know that everybody here, has already made some efforts in one way or the other. So AI is just going to support us, right? And Benjamin was also asking that what would my final words be, or like what would I like to share in terms of AI? So there are two courses that I think you could check out. There are three courses actually, which you can find on Great Learning Academy. So great like GREAT Learning Academy. So they have a course called ChatGPT for beginners, and then they have a course called AI and digital marketing, right? I know that basically, some of us may have used, or most of us may have applied like ChatGPT or like AI already. But then if we want to have, that additional certification or we want to have, that additional skill sets or knowledge that could come from that course, that could definitely be a place to start from because I guess that at the end of the day, growth is the only constant thing. It's always said that if we are going to invest in anything, we are the first people that we should invest in, right? So we can definitely take advantage of these courses to get some extra knowledge. And then I guess that maybe another thing that I would say is that the more that we practice with the AI tools, the easier it's going to be to use them. Last week, I held this session with a colleague, and towards the end of the session, one lady was like, "Okay, so Irene, thanks so much for these chat GPT exercises because I realized that basically what the exercise taught me is that there isn't really like one rule or one way. I can basically turn ChatGPT around, give it different prompts, and it's going to give me different results. And so that's why I'm saying that the more that we practice, the more that we'll find that we can do with it, right? And then at the end of the day, all of it is to our advantage, because who'll be with that person, who'll be that person who has that 99K knowledge, right? And then can use it to solve problems, right? And then send across bills for the 100K, because we practicing, we learning the different ways, we have that unique like prompts that nobody has, right? We have that unique way of using AI to bring even much more outstanding results, that can create greater wins for the organization that we are working with. Yeah. So Benjamin, I think for me, I'd say constant growth, constant learning, constant applying of what we learn so that we can, learn even different ways to do more good. Yeah.
Learn different ways to do more. So that brings me to one just comment that has come from you. So he says, as negative aspect, sometimes it looks like some posts become just copy and paste from Chat GPT, not being adapted to what you want really to say. There is a risk of becoming too predictable on our marketing message. So in using this, do you kind of have to have more tools so that you compare the results that are coming from, so you filter it so that you can now be a genuine person by picking from three, four tools and then blending it into one, because it's true, because once you keep using that same tool with that kind of concept or creativity pouring it into it, it's really going to be adapted to that kind of output that suits what you normally do. And if someone is really paying keen attention, obviously they're going to get the same words coming up, the same kind of phrases or the same kind of concept always running through. So is it advisable to just stick to one, two, or you can sample? Yeah, just from the comments that came and then your final one, the way that you see.
Sure. So I'd say that what you can do is try the different tools, right? And then see if you're going to get different answers. But then again, there's a paraphrasing tool called Quillbot, right? And then you can decide to paraphrase with it and then see what other, ways to say that thing are there, right? Maybe there are other different words. Sometimes you can even do like a basic synonym search on like Google or a dictionary or something like that, right? And then find different ways to turn it around so that it's not the same thing. And then I'd say that sometimes, when we take like a minute or two to reflect on the thing, on the answer, sorry, that AI or ChatGPT brought us or Google Bard brought us, right? If we take a minute or two to reflect, sometimes even without using another tool, we'll be able to turn it around in a way that's unique, in a way that applies to our context, right? Because each and every one of us here on this session is probably working in a different field, right? Probably working in a different context. So if you take a minute or two to reflect again on the answer, right, then it's going to make it easier for us to find different ways to, should I say, modify it and then make it suit our fields, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we do say that AI saves us time. And so, yes, the answer has come. But then I think that it's also important to make that additional time to sit back and then say, okay, so what's the best way for me to tailor this answer so that our answer isn't the same as the next person sitting next to us, right? Because I think that one thing that we're saying earlier on is that we still need to use our creativity as much as possible. AI is just going to support us, right? So I guess that, yeah, we can try different tools, but then also make that time to sit down and reflect and then tailor it according to our own situation. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. So now, ladies and gentlemen, with us online, what was your hashtag for today's episode? Now bring it out. Bring it out. Let's compare notes. Let's see if we got the same thing. But before we do that, whilst we comparing and whilst we bringing out your hashtag, we want to just pick up any social media handles that Irene has. If you have any upcoming project that you want us to know of, you can share it with us now so that people here can follow you up and then continue the conversation. So let us know. That helps.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So I'm on LinkedIn as Irene Siaw. So I think the same name on the flyer for this session, the same name on the screen right now. I'm on Facebook here as Irene Siaw. I'm on Twitter. Where else? But I think that basically Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook are my main platforms at the moment. And so you can definitely come and then, let's learn together. I mean, we're all exchanging ideas, we're all growing together at the end of the day. I've started up, I think, recently, since the past month, almost 2 months, like sharing different kind of chat GPT prompts daily. So you can also follow me, get connected on LinkedIn, and then let's learn how to apply these different prompts, and then see how they can help to facilitate our work in different ways. So yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with everybody else who is on this session today. Yeah.
She's looking forward to connect with everyone here. So yes, let's do it. And now let's drop our hashtag for today. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for today's hashtag? There it goes. Our hashtag for today, there is it. Leveraging AI for branding.
Nice.
That is it. Our hashtag for today, leveraging AI.
AI for branding.
Thank you so much, and we are so grateful for joining us on this episode. And then, as we said earlier on, if you have not been following us on our YouTube channel, you can do that on our Frequencies Guest Network channel, so that you can go through the previous sections that we've had. Thousands of nuggets that have been shared with us on this platform. That if you were not part, you can always go back and then just go through it and get those nuggets, because we sharing it for you. So if you missed it, just go back, watch it, subscribe to it, so that anytime we post those videos, you can get the alert and then you follow it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my lovely viewers and my lovely audience, for making this always an interactive one. It's a back and forth thing. It gets us the ideas, get us the questions, and get us the promos, get us all that is needed for the show to be a success. And to you, Irene, Siaw, we say we are more than thank you for coming. I mean, you've just blown us with all these ideas and with all these tools that we can use to better brand ourselves online and anywhere, so that our niche can be different from others. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We want to say a big thank you to Irene. We want to say thank you. Just want to thank you for being on the show, and then thank you for everyone. So, we'll meet same time, same place next week. We want to say have a wonderful week. Go out there, make good use of the AI tools, and brand yourself. And as I always say, dreams are in level. Make sure you get to the top level of your. My name is Ambassador. See you same time. Have a wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.